Okay, so I have the new bushings on here, and it is quite significant, the difference. Okay, so I wanted to explain a couple of things moving on. So I know I showed you guys these pins previously, but it wasn't a good enough shot. So let's see if I can get it now, because this is important when putting this back. Not sure if you can see right there. Well, this camera doesn't focus very well, but there is it's kind of like a slot, and that pin there, let's see if I can touch it with this screwdriver. Right here, you can see this is kind of a cutout, so that moves in and out, that piece there. And that piece is what you're pressing in to remove this pin. And what's also important is when you're putting this back, that this is somewhat elevated. So what I had to do to a few of them was kind of lift it, and my nails are long enough where I can get in there, because when you put it in, you need to be able to make sure that it doesn't come back out. So I tugged on a few of them and they actually pulled back out, so I had to move that pin out a little bit so that it's doing its job of holding. Because when you go to clip this plug in, it might push that out and you're not going to have a solid contact. So that is important. Now I've run all the wires. Everything is in. I actually put the clip that goes here. I had to remove it because there was some complications with the wire, but that is going good. That is going well. The other thing is, this light is in a bad position. This is for the headlight, and these were hardwired to the headlight plug, which is this thing here. So what I've done is I've made this entire plug removable for the headlight. So this will now plug into here, and the ground, which is this blue one, will plug into this. And these here. So this is, if I pull the headlight out, I don't have to unplug it. I can unplug these. Everything else is solid the way it's supposed to be. Now I will say, yesterday I came into the garage, I sat down, and I didn't have the mindset to work with all those wires. It seemed like a spaghetti to me, and I walked away. I just left it like that. Today I came back, and this is how I work. Everybody's different, okay? Today I came back with a different mindset, and I actually had thought about it overnight. Came up with a few different tactics on how to approach this. Again, I looked at my video. I recorded a video on my phone, wire by wire, where it came from, where I was pulling it out from. And it took me, I want to say, a couple hours to put each pin back in its proper place. But that's what it takes to get this job done. So what I'm saying is, if you feel pressure, if you don't feel comfortable when you're doing it, walk away. And that is so true with mechanics. And I think most of you probably know that. When you're working on something and it's just not happening, it's not going in, or something's not right, then walk away, go drink something, munch something, watch some TV, clear your head, and then come back to the problem. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to go a lot smoother for you. I've done this, I don't even know how many times, but I've done it a lot. And I work on cars and I work on bikes. So that is a technique that most people use. When you can't fix the problem. Now, if there's various things to do on the bike, move on to something different. Leave that alone. And then go do something else and come back to that problem that's giving you a lot of trouble. So I went today and I bought some hand grips. Let's see. I bought these hand grips. They're not like the other ones. I like these because they had chrome, and I kind of like the way it finishes off the chrome handlebars. I also had to buy a throttle sleeve, which in the end came out kind of cheap. This is 20 bucks. I believe this is 20 bucks. And the whole thing came out like to $35. Whereas these can go for between 80 and 120. Now I'll show you what, I have something similar to those. These are Avon grips, and I don't know if you can see what I'm saying, where it finishes off the chrome. So it just has a small piece of rubber here, but it makes everything look chrome. I like that look. But I know a lot of guys use the Vans grips on these. Biltwell is also kind of flows with this style of bike, so I went with those. They're black, traditional. Old Harley grips are all black. So now all I have to do here is button this up, which is my project tonight. Welcome back. More on the wires now. Anyhow, so what happened was I had this all wired up, and this little booger right here came out of nowhere, and it's not married to anybody. So thank goodness for pictures and video. So I actually had to go back and to the computer and research. So this is part of this headlight wire here. So what happened was my solder gun died on me tonight. Not sure if you can see that, but yeah, that tip where they join together, it came apart. So I just ordered another tip, so that'll be tomorrow. But it did take me a while, but I did find it. I had to go through a lot of footage and pictures, and because this was well hidden back here. Anyhow, found where that goes, so I could sort that out. And moving on, I just have to put this clip back here and then start on the handlebars. I could start on the brake too. There's a few things, so I'm gonna move along and show you how that's done. Problem number 59 is this piece here, which I put that one on there, but I don't have the proper bolts for that one. Same thing. I don't have the bolts because what came there, what was there before, is this. This was a phone mount, and it went bolted to that. So basically what I have here is the bolts from the throttle side. So I'm missing those bolts now. Those are the grips. This one, the bigger one's for the throttle. The smaller one goes here. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to show you how I put these on there. I imagine people put it on different kind of ways. I've put in plenty of grips in my time. These are very nice. They say built well on there. So I do have some contact cement, and that's what I'm going to spray this with. That's it, man. Well, it's not coming out. That sucker is in there, boy. I'm sweating. Well, there it is. I'm sweating trying to get them in. They don't look beautiful right now, but once I clean them up, I mean, it took a lot of hard work to get them in there. They're bottomed out, so that's what matters. So now I got to put, this is the throttle sleeve. Now I'm going to put this in here, which should be somewhat simple, as it's shown. It has ridges, so, but I want to put it with the built well up. Might as well, paid for it. So I'm going to leave this off and just put the throttle sleeve in, put all this together, and then I'll mount that here. I label these here, but some engineer had the great idea of doing two different thread sizes. So that is smaller than that one. Pretty neat. In other words, when I put that one there by mistake, it just went right in. This one just sat on the edge there. The engineers at Harley were thinking when they did that. So proud of them. And these, you see those little balls right there? They have some brass fittings, whatever you call it, that are round. They're barrels that go here. Now this is delicate, so you can't be too Brutus with this thing. That right there, when you put this on, you have to be delicate about it. These are the little barrels. There's two of them. For those of you that don't know, you don't want brake fluid on your hands, unless you don't mind being a grease monkey, but brake fluid will make your hands dirty for longer. It's almost hard to wash off. And it strips paint. All I want to do is crack it, release the pressure. Okay. So now is the moment of truth when I crack the other one. The actual line. I gotta cut that. Not gonna snug it down yet because, man, what a mess. Because I'm not sure what's gonna happen on top. I may have to turn it a different way, because these lines don't just twist the way you want them to. So You kind of have to work with what you got. These lines are made in such a way that they don't twist like a regular wire or something. So you don't want this kink here. So if I can't get the kinks out, then I have to find a different way to turn this. But I can see already how much room I have. Now, something you need to realize when I'm doing these videos is, you know, some of this stuff may be elementary to you, but there are people, like the first time that I heard it, I'm sure, you know, let's say, make believe it was on a video and there were 10,000 people watching and somebody mentioned a certain whatever, and that's the first time I learned that. Well, the other 9,999 probably already knew it, but I learned it, and that's the important part here, is that some of this stuff may be elementary to you, but to the person who doesn't know that, it's very important information. It's good information that we're sharing. So keep that in mind, not just for me, but when you watch other videos as well, is they're trying to teach to those people who don't know, and that's what it's all about, right? To be honest with you, I watch a lot of videos and I know what's going on. To me, it's therapeutic. I watch mechanics working on bikes, on cars, people fixing houses. I know a lot of that stuff, but I like watching guys making shoes. Don't ask me why, but when I'm in chill mode and I'm trying to get to sleep, I might watch that. So there's different things that I watch that they're therapeutic, they're kind of relaxing for me. The way the brain works, right? The beauty of this cable is that you can adjust the angle. So right now, because these cables don't twist, see that kink? I'll be able to take it out because I can loosen this here and turn the cable. This is free in here, and once I turn the cable, put it in place, then I tighten down. So now my job is to tighten that. I'm gonna have to steal a bolt from the other side to put this in place. I don't trust that there it will dent the tank. So let's do that. Steal a bolt from this side, put it on that side with the brake. There, that's in place. Now I want to get rid of this kink here. So now I will spin the cable on this side. Okay, that's good right there. I likes it. Now, and it's not hitting the fender. Okay, so the brake line is good now. I'm digging it. That's a lot better. And it doesn't touch the fender when you turn the handlebars. Okay, so that's that. I'm waiting on that plug, because if not, I could have buttoned up everything up top. So let me continue with the headlight. Well, I need the solder gun to finish that last piece on the headlight. So I'm running into roadblocks here. Okay, so we're gonna install these levers. These are slotted levers. This is gonna go pretty quickly because I have some audio problems again, but it'll be quick. Let's get through this. Pretty nifty levers there, slotted. As previously stated, I'm going to oil the clutch cable, and that's what I'm using right there. It's long lasting. Oil is good. WD-40 is not good. WD-40 will work for a day or two, and it's actually what I use to clean grease off of the back wheel of my motorcycles with chains. But this here silicone spray sticks, and you're gonna see how I do it. At the adjustment location, I am able to spray down to the lower portion of the cable. There's just enough room for that straw to fit, and I put enough spray in there that it's going to reach all the way to the bottom. And now I'm spraying the upper portion of the clutch cable, giving it a good dose of this lubricant. Pretty simple stuff. And I did it just when I saw it coming out of the adjustment part at the midsection there. When I saw it coming out that side, that's when I stopped. There you can see the slotted clutch lever. And also that's the amount of play that you want. See that right there? It's about 1/8 of an inch. When you're doing the adjustment at the midsection, you want your clutch to have that little bit of play. You don't want it tight. That's per Harley specs, just so you know. And the best part is I can feel the difference. After I lubed it, it was a lot easier to pull that lever. If you're wondering why I changed levers, that's the reason right there. Look at how pitted that is. It's terrible. So the plug finally came in. I call it an end cap. That's the plug I ordered, and that is for handlebars that are throttle by wire. You need to have that plug because they are shorter on the right hand side, and it just fits right in there. And what I did was I put a little silicone glue so that it doesn't vibrate, because it's a little bit on the loose side, and anywhere you can cut back on a little bit of vibration helps. Now I'm gonna pull the throttle sleeve, that whole sleeve, everything's gonna come right back to that end. I just have it tightened there for now, but I will adjust that. Finished product, it looks great. Both hand grips are in place, as are the levers. Everything is I'm gonna give it a final adjustment as to where I want them, but everything is functioning as it should, with the exception of bleeding the brake. But you can see there, everything looks pretty good. It's coming along. Alright, so we have a little problem here with the bushings, is that there's too much movement. I'm going to show you. The stock bushings, there is so much play. Look. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that is as tight as can be. And look at all that movement. The fork is not moving. So I was going to put some solid bushings, but the guy at the shop talked me out of it. He said the bushings that he offers are harder than the stock ones, but that the solid ones would be too much vibration, and just, he says, a little flex ain't bad. He says you'll kind of get used to it. Solid bushings are just too hard. It's not good. So I'm going to try them out. They're not cheap, but have to do what you got to do. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to change these bushings out. This is kind of the final piece. I put the mirrors on there. I like the mirrors upside down, but you really can't see much out of them because you don't have the adjustability that you do when you put them on top. I wish Harley or some aftermarket would have some, you know, not round, because these are very adjustable. I had to buy these mirrors for this bike because I would, with these high handlebars, there's no way I was going to put mirrors on top. It would look, in my opinion, ridiculous. That's the only way to go on that bike. These mirrors are actually off of the Vikla, the soft tail. So they're kind of modern. I don't know. You guys tell me your opinion. Do you like those mirrors, or do you like those mirrors up there? Cause I could put those on there. All I need to do is clean them up. So this is what they look like. I think they're okay. Not in love with them, but and I have these on this bike. These are on the fairing. I really like those. I can see out of those perfectly. I got no issues with those mirrors. They're not on top of the bars. So I really don't like mirrors that tall on the bike, because, you know, it takes away from the look, in my opinion. So anyway, let me get with these bushings here. Let me show you what I bought. Good and tight. They're like almost 50 bucks, 60 bucks. I can't remember how much they were, but they were not cheap. So that's my next step. I'm gonna replace those bushings real quick. Okay, so I have the new bushings on here, and it is quite significant, the difference. It still flexes a little bit. The guy at the shop says that's normal with these tall risers, and the other thing is I haven't tightened the handlebar down. I still have to clamp this down. So I'm hoping that that will make a little bit of a difference. But what I can tell you is it's not moving this way. And I don't know if you guys remember how much that moved before, but I'm pushing it and it's not moving. So I'm thinking when I tighten this, that'll take some of that flex out. But that is the final product. So hope you like it. Kind of a long video, very a lot of explaining of little details. I think there's a lot of videos out there that show people changing their handlebars out, but they don't show the details. A lot of little details, like the throttle cables, like what do you do with the brake line, how do you adjust that, how to oil your clutch line. So I hope that it's of use for you all, for those of you that need little, you know, tutorials on things like that. That's what this channel is all about, is, you know, helping you out so that on your projects you can feel comfortable. You know, I want to tell you, the main thing with a project is, if you have the desire and you think you have some kind of ability, do it. That's how I started. I didn't know anything about bikes when I started. I didn't go to mechanic school. I just did it. I started taking smaller things apart and moved on to bigger things as time went on. And now I can change a cam. So you have to have a little bit of confidence in yourself, and the rest will come. Now you also have to find resources. Go online, read a book. You know, they sell books for all these bikes. They sell manuals. So a lot of this stuff that we're doing is custom stuff, extending the wires, things like that. That's where videos like this come in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I know it's not me riding on a motorcycle through, you know, Mount Fuji in Japan, but it's a tutorial on changing out these bars, which you think would be a simple project. It takes me a few days because I have work and I have a family. It was Mother's Day this past weekend, so a lot of stuff to do. I have vehicles that I tend to. So anyhow, if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. If you haven't given this video a like, please, I'd appreciate that at the minimum. And please let me know your thoughts. What mirrors do you think would be best? If you know of any mirrors that would look cool on this bike that are under the bar mirrors, that are adjustable, because the Harley mirrors, in my experience are not adjustable enough for me to see what I need to see behind me. I've been through that. So please let me know. And with that, you all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads. And I will catch you on the next one. Adios.